Alright, let's check out Area 5. This is the Flooded Ruins. I don't know if these areas have actual names, but now we're in sort of a underwater temple looking area. One little bit of trivia for this particular LP. For viewers that have been following the work on my channel for a while, you might recognize a lot of the music from this game because when I did the Faceless Summoner papier-mâché series of masks and concept pieces, I used a bunch of Demon's Crest tracks for that particular project. The overall sort of feel and mood of the tracks in this game seem to fit that project pretty well, and I'll almost likely continue using tracks from the game. Alright, now we have kind of a mix of areas. Oh, there's health up. And that's a pitfall area. We need the ground gargoyle in order to break the statues. And we need the aerial gargoyle's ability to ascend. This particular part might be a good spot to test Claw. Yeah. For spiked areas, we can use the claw shot in order to scale up normally unscalable walls. Of course, we have another boss. This sort of worm-looking creature, which appears to eat corpses. Kind of a neat sprite. And now we get its true form. This creature is called Crawler, I believe. And my boomerang doesn't work on it at all. It's sort of a slime beast that spawns minions and is only vulnerable when its eye opens. This boss is one of the more challenging ones you run into in kind of the mid-game. I remember when I first played Demon's Crest decades ago, I got stuck on this boss. Mostly because I didn't have a stronger weapon to hit it with. In addition to the things that it's throwing on the ground, Crawler will also spit the flying minions out of its back. If I die this round, I'm not gonna... I'll just try the fight again. There's something I want to look at in the level before. If it kills me here, I'll do the fight again instead of burning healing. But maybe I can squeak a victory out here. turning red? Oh. It's hard to tell since it's orange. Oh, alright. Surprised I beat that first try. You have found the Crest of Water. With it you can morph into the Tea Gargoyle and swim beneath the oceans. Okay. We'll check out some more stuff in this particular area. First, I'm going to make my way all the way back to where Crawler first popped down. There's something in the ceiling that I want to check out. So we can take the aerial gargoyle and just bypass most of this stuff. Yeah, the boomerang projectile does more damage to those flying bird things. I will demonstrate what the tidal gargoyle does after I clear this section out. Fly up through the floor there. And get health from where the heart container was. It's interesting for the progression of gameplay. Even though you get the claw ability before the flying one, you don't get too many opportunities to use it, and once you get this ability, you pretty much never need to use the claw shot ever. So this area is above where Crawler dropped down. And we get another heart container. Our total amount is 2 full rows. It looks like a couple more and then we're done with all of our heart containers. That's it for the main branch. What we can do now is go back again and then check out this area from the water. And I can demonstrate what the tidal gargoyle abilities look like. In this form, Firebrand takes on this fish-like creature. His projectile when he's walking around is this sort of water drop looking thing. In the water, it changes into a larger projectile which does more damage. As you might expect, Firebrand can move around freely in the water without losing health. And if you hit A, he goes into the swimming state and you can swim laterally. But instead of using the jump, which sort of changes height, the swim functions a lot like the regular flight in that you have a straight pattern. And if you hit jump, you can adjust your height. You can't go down without just letting go of the button. But in some of the more difficult to navigate areas, the ability to just swim straight is pretty useful. Here's a good example. We've got spots where there's spikes on the floor and ceiling, and rather than try and jump our way through, we can just use the swim to go laterally. If we go up this particular section that we were in before, that's where this leads. We've already cleared that area out, so we can just proceed forward. In spots like this, when your jump trajectory will put you in the way of spikes, that's where things like the swim come in handy. You can just move straight through and not have to worry about accidentally jumping into a spiked floor or ceiling. Another health up. Because you only get that ability when you're in the water, the tidal gargoyle is pretty useless on land. I can't think of any instances where you would use this ability when you're not in the water. And the shot for the water blast will break blocks and function kind of like the Buster. This area is pretty neat. It's sort of a sunken castle ruins. The detail on the sprite work in the background is pretty cool. You can see sort of a coral reef like environment with fish swimming by outside. With the overall presentation and style of the game, it makes me wonder if Capcom just didn't market it very aggressively, because those people I know that have played Demon's Crest really liked it, but it wasn't one of those timeless classic NES Super NES games that you always see on, you know, top 20 lists or stuff like that. If I were to pick an old property to remake and do sort of like the Blaster Master Zero treatment of games from this era, Demon's Crest would probably be my #1 pick. I think a company like Indie Creates or Yacht Club or Way Forward could do something pretty neat with the property, make it sort of a current gen. In the Sunken Ruins, our next boss is a big prehistoric snail. This thing's called Holotherium, I think. And what it does is it will suction in the water and then expel the water in order to sort of push you around the room. And if you use the swim, you can resist the flow of the current and control where you're going. Without that, you get sort of pulled or pushed in all directions. And the boss only takes damage on its face or its rear. As it sort of blows everything around, those little mucus bubbles that it expels from its shell will also kind of blown around and become hazards in the room. Looks like the boss is already changing color. Yep. As it gets closer to death, it'll start switching the flow of current a lot faster. But now it's dead. A really neat sprite. Not a particularly difficult boss, but a neat design. I like the way Holotherium looks.